done like this to me. I'm hurt beyond repair. My heart can't take one more ounce of this deceit. I don't want to know another word those liars' lips proclaimed. What else did you hear?
Let's see. Something about how they thought they deserved this vacation, and they didn't care if they had to take all of your money.
They did.
I'm trying to remember everything, but something to the effect of they cut your budget 90% if it meant being able to take this trip.
They did.
And they didn't care about your dumb Cinderella show as long as they got what they wanted.
Dumb?
Something like that.
This is the last straw, Pepper. I won't stand idly by and let them do this to me.
What will you do, Sanders? Quit?
Of course I'll quit. Who wants to work for someone whom they can't trust? I'll just have to leave the theater forever.
I'm so sorry I had to be the one to break this bad news to you, Sanders.
That's okay, Pepper. It's better that I find out now than to go along with this little charade they're playing. The more I think about it, the madder I become.
Now I wish this show would bomb. That would show them.
That's it. I just had an evil idea that I should allow to pass right on through my brain.
What do you mean, Sanders?
They cut my budget 80% and expect me to direct a dignified show, right?
That's right, but...
So, what if I had just enough money to make a mediocre show? Or better yet, a terrible show?
What kind of evil thoughts do you have churning in that brain of yours, Sanders?
I've just decided I want to take this little setback lying down. Before I give my resignation, I'm going to give them a show they'll never forget.
But how will you give them a show they'll never forget without a budget?
That's just it, Pepper. They want a low-budget show, they'll get a low-budget show. But I'm going to need some help.
You can count me in.
What about some of your volunteers? You think they would like a part in the play?
But Sanders, none of them has ever even acted before.
That's just it. They're inexperienced, so they'll be cheap. Yeah, that's it. They should get the show a nice low-budget look.
You mean you want the show to look low budget?
Why should I care? I'm getting out of here anyway.
Anybody home?
Well, I'm sure my gals will pitch in.
That's great. We need to have a meeting.
There you are.
Capri, what could you possibly be doing here?
Why, is that any way to talk to your favorite theater critic?
Favorite critic? That's a contradiction in terms.
How do you do? I'm Capri Tate, the drama critic. Perhaps you've heard of me.
I've heard of you, but I sure don't like you. You've never had anything good to say about any of the plays my friends directed.
I call it as I see it, that's all.
His Beauty and the Beast was the most beautiful show that I've ever seen, and you called it a sad attempt. When his Little Mermaid sold out to enthusiastic crowds, you said, and I quote, "It was the most miserable endeavor of an adaptation of a classical tale that I've ever seen." You've never had anything good to say about any of the plays he's ever directed.
Who's she, your agent?
Just a friend who cares, since that's becoming harder and harder to find these days.
Owen Sanders, I can't wait to see Cinderella. I'm sure it's going to be your finest creation so far.
Ha! What would you know about good theater? You're ruining Sanders' reputation with each dreadful review you pin from your witch's claws.
Sanders, would you please explain to this volunteer that I'm the foremost drama critic in the city?
I may be just a volunteer, but at least I don't go around tarnishing other people's careers.
When Sanders directs a hit show, I'll be the first to let the people know. Until then, I must speak the truth.
Sure, Capri. What can I do for you?
I was looking for Miss Brace. Is she here?
What do you want with her? Are you in this whole scheme they're pulling?
Scheme?
Pepper, don't say anything you regret. Miss Brace isn't here right now.
Very well. Let her know I was in the neighborhood, and I'll stop by a little later. Ta-ta.
Just wait till you see this show, Miss High and Mighty. You better get ready to write something encouraging in that little column of yours for a change.
Don't forget, Pepper, this is one time we don't want to write anything positive.
That's right. You're going to direct your first bad show, and I'm going to help.
Nobody messes with this director and gets away with it. Take my money, will they? Sneak off on a 2-week cruise behind my back, will they? But who will get the last laugh? I will. That's who. Pepper, get on the phone to all your friends. We need to hold a special meeting.
I'm one step ahead of you. I shall return.
I wonder what time it is. 3 o'clock? That gives us plenty of time. Huh. That's funny. I didn't know we had a cuckoo clock. Thank all of you for come to the special meeting tonight.
Proud to serve in any way my country needs me, sir.
This is an army, Curtis. Have a seat.
Does this have anything to do with that crazy woman running around out there?
No.
Would anyone like anything to eat?
Herman took some time to make all of us some delicious finger sandwiches.
This isn't a social gathering. It's pure business.
My restaurant and catering service is open 9 to 7, Monday through Saturday, 11 to 5 on Sundays.
Flowers for sale. Buy your beautiful cut flowers. Wow, I'm in the jackpot.
Mary, this isn't a good time, so if you would please.
I'm a getting. You don't have to tell me twice. Beautiful flowers. Get your beautiful flowers.
Wait.
Well, hey, that's my wagon.
This just might work.
Sanders, if you want some flowers, just say so.
Mary, I need you to stay. I think I can use you in the show.
Me? Use me in the show? You wouldn't get a poor helpless bag lady, would you?
Not at all. Have a seat.
Did you know there's a crazy woman running around out there? She can be hiding behind any corner in the shadows of the darkest alleyways.
You know, now that you mention it, I do remember hearing something about that on the news this morning.
I heard it too. She escaped from a mental hospital and is believed to be roaming the city streets.
Would everyone please give me their undivided attention?
Don't worry, miss. You've nothing to fear from that crazy person as long as I'm around. I have a black belt in karate, you see. Any crazy person who comes in contact with me will run in the other direction.
Excuse me.
I hear that crazy woman is too smart to be captured by anyone, and that she's quite beautiful.
Oh dear.
That's enough talk about the crazy woman.
Why exactly are we here, Sanders?
I'm trying to inform you if everyone would give me a moment of silence.
Sanders has a wonderful idea about the show and how he wants all of us to take a part.
Wait a minute. You mean on stage? But I ain't never acted before in my life.
That's just it. The less acting experience you have, the better.
I don't understand.
You see, my dear friends, I have been the victim of fraudulence.
Take some antacid. You'll be fine by morning. Sandwiches, anyone?
Sit down, Herman. As y'all may know by now, our budget for our next spectacular production of Cinderella has been drastically cut.
80%.
It's a cool world.
You bet you're working boots, Brutus. Seems our dear Mrs. Breaks, along with our chairman of our board of directors, have embezzled money from our budget to take an expensive and extensive vacation cruise for themselves.
Why, that's worse than a customer coming into a restaurant receiving $5 service and leaving a $2 tip.
They stole your money and that's terrible, but I still understand what that has to do with all of us.
The point is, they take 80% of Sanders' money and still expect him to put on a high-quality production of epic proportions.
So, I've decided if they want a low-budget show, they'll get a low-budget show.
Wait a minute. I was a tree in my second grade play. I can do this. Right, guys? Right, guys?
Not me, I can't act. I'm just a moving man.
Like I said, no acting experience is required.
What if I freeze up?
Just imagine those two crooks lounging on that cruise ship with the money they stole from me. Not just from me, from the community. That's you, and you, and you.
But how can we help?
Listen, we'll put on a show so horrible, the theater will never live down to humiliation.
But won't you lose your job?
I'll quit before she can fire me. Who wants to work for a couple of crooks? And she can't fire any of you because you won't be getting paid.
Wait a minute. Nobody said nothing about not getting paid.
You'll be doing it for the pure joy of helping out a fellow human being in need.
But won't we be humiliated? With hair like that, you should be used to humiliation.
Got a point there.
So, what do you say, everybody? You ready to put these two dishonest businesswomen in their places?
I say let's do it!
Y'all know how much this means to me.
It puts a tear in my eye. We're happy to do it and to celebrate this devious and sneaky plan. Everyone over to my place for dessert and coffee.
Good idea. I will sign parts at your place.
Sanders, what's going on?
This breaks.
What are all these people doing here?
Just a late night organizational meeting. That's all.
We're all volunteering our services.
Right. And it has nothing to do with us acting on this stage.